Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. It's a weird one at the moment, a bit of a weird one. I've just recorded Lincoln and Blackburn games. I've just gone and recorded it, and after I record, I press stop recording, then I save the game, sort of thing. Then I went to go and review the footage, and it wasn't there. And I was very confused by this, and I use OBS to record. I don't know if any of you use OBS and have used it in the past. If we get it up here we go. This is what I used to record. If I move my head out of the way as well, over here, you can see this button that says stop recording, all right? What I did, I'd press stop recording, and then it says stopping recording, then stops recording, but it just kept saying stopping recording. I left it for about half an hour, and it still says stopping recording, so I thought, okay, let's just close OBS, see what happens. The footage hasn't turned up. I'm not sure why this has happened, how it's happened, or how I can spot this happening and stop it from doing in the future, because that's a bit weird. It means I've lost a whole episode worth of footage for you there, which is it's not good, that is it? I mean, that Blackburn game was mental that we just played. That was one of the best episodes I've recorded, I think, which is also quite annoying. So it's an odd one. It's frustrating as well because there's quite a lot happened in that episode, and it was a good episode, and now it's gone, and I'm a bit. As you can tell, I don't quite know what to do because it was a big episode. I think what I'm going to do, we've got Middlesbrough up next in the next game. I think I'm just going to do that in this episode because I've got to put something out there, and I don't want to just skip through to where I was going to go next episode because then that's a large chunk that you've missed out on, sort of thing. So I think I'm going to talk about what happened in between episodes, explain what happens when I meant to record last episode, obviously, but that's obviously failed for some reason, and then we're going to play Middlesbrough. So it's not ideal, obviously, but it's what we're going to have to do right now. So let's get into this then. We're currently on the 2nd of March, okay? So we're meant to be back for the Lincoln game in mid-February. We're now 2nd of March, though. It's a bit annoying. We've obviously gone through all of January, so the January transfer window came around, and we sold 2 players and we signed 3 players. So that's something to talk about. I suppose we'll go through that first, actually. That makes a bit more sense because they do appear on the score sheets and things like that. By the way, lots of players come on trial. It's regen day, so I try to get loads of players on trial. As it turns out, a vast majority of them have already signed contracts. The good ones have already signed contracts with Premier League clubs. So actually, there was no point getting them on trial anyway because they've already signed the contracts. Anyway, going back to the actual transfer that we made in January, which was a while ago now, we sold 2 players, both to Wigan actually. Leon Griffiths went, and then interestingly, Wade Ross also went as well. So Leon Griffiths had a few bids come in last episode for him at the start of last episode, and we sold him for 150k in the end because basically that's a very good offer for a player that his contract was going to end in summer, and we're going to get rid of him on summer for a free. I wasn't going to turn down 150k, so he's gone for that kind of money. Wade Ross, similar situation. His contract finishes at the end of the season. He has been woeful this season. 16 appearances this season for us in the league, 2 goals. That's not good enough, but 105k rising to 120k is good enough. So he's also gone to Wigan. So goodbye to both those 2 players. It means that we've now made £1.2 million from transfers this summer, or this year, which is phenomenal. I'm very pleased with that. On the inside then, 3 players have come in. £58,000 we paid for Gary Langley from Birmingham. Now, he is a direct replacement for Leon Griffiths, which is pretty decent, I've got to say. Leon Griffiths, we sold for 150k, and we brought in a replacement that's actually probably a little bit better for £58,000. So we've made £92,000 off that, basically, which I think is pretty decent. 3-star current ability and 4-star potential. Now, he did play very well. He played 4 games for us and scored 4 goals in the opening 4 games that he played. In the episode I just recorded and then subsequently lost, basically, he played in both of them and was woeful. So I think he's very, very camera shy. And actually, perhaps Gary Langley is the reason that the file was corrupted and hasn't saved properly or whatever it's done with OBS. Perhaps that's the issue. Maybe because he played so badly, he didn't want anyone to see it. So that's a plausible situation. Either way, importantly for Gary, he's never played outside of a championship, which I think is pretty decent. He's not played very well in a championship, but that's because he's not quite suited to the championship yet. He's very suited to League One and hopefully for championship next season if we do go up. So fingers crossed he'll be a good long-term signing for us. Richard Alcock came in from Wolves on loan as a goalkeeper, and this was purely because McClement got injured for a month and we had to bring in a goalkeeper because we've got no backup goalkeeper, no under-18 goalkeeper, no reserve goalkeeper. We had to bring someone in. This was the best chap that was available. 2-star current ability is not good enough. However, in the 3 games that he has played in the league, he's kept clean sheets. He kept another clean sheet in a cup, conceded 1 goal in another cup game as well. But 5 appearances, 1 goal conceded in all competitions, 4 clean sheets. I mean, perhaps we should try and keep him and actually use him because that's a good return. And then finally, the final player we brought in, again on loan. There were no strikers available on the transfer list that were good enough, and no strikers that wanted to join us that were good enough wanted to come to the club. So to replace Wade Ross, we've brought in Ollie Walker on loan from Southampton. It does take our loan player total up to 7, and you can only have 5 in the matchday squad. So Olcock, now that McClement's back from injury, he's not going to play. So that brings us down to 6 in total. So we have to sacrifice a lone player every game from this matchday squad. So that's going to be a bit tricky to negotiate in the future. But Ollie Walker's come in and hasn't played particularly well so far. We just have a bad thing with strikers at the moment, unfortunately. But 3-star current ability. Scout report said 4, so a bit disappointed to see he's only 3-star. But 5-star potential is also decent, so maybe a player to sign in the future. He's come in and played 3 league games, 0 goals, 0 assists, and a 6.57 average rating. It's not ideal. But they're the January transfers for you. They're the transfers that we've made. I explained it, obviously, probably slightly better actually in the video I recorded, but obviously isn't recorded, so that's a bit annoying as well, but hopefully that gets the message across. Right, then on to fixtures then. So last episode, we played Salford and Tottenham. We lost to Salford in the league, and we lost to Tottenham in the FA Cup. But the loss to Tottenham was a win, really, because we made so much money off the ticket sales from playing at their stadium, which I was very pleased with. Since then, a whole host of games, more than we should have played, really, because we had a few cup games in there. And, of course, we were meant to play against Lincoln and Blackburn in today's episode, but that's obviously been corrupted somehow. So normally, if that had happened, I would have just gone on to the next game as per usual and pretended that, nothing ever happened. But because it was a cup semi-final that, as you can see, we've won, I feel like you've missed out, and I've missed out on telling you about it. And it was... We won it in a really spectacular way at the end of the game as well. So it was very frustrating, I've got to say, that that's all gone. I'm actually quite upset about that. As you can probably tell by I'm not as hyped or excited as usual. Either way, let's get on with it. Let's try and get through some of these fixtures then. There's quite a few to get through. In fact, well, let's just go through it quickly. We started off with Rochdale after the Tottenham loss in the league. Got back to winning ways with a Carl Smith goal to make sure we picked up all 3 points. Similar situation against Aldershot. Again, a 2-1 win there. 3 points in the league. Good stuff for us. This is then when Alex McClement got injured in between the Aldershot and the MK Dons game. McClement got injured, out for a month. We tried to get new goalkeeper in, but unfortunately we couldn't get one in before the MK Dons game. As we have no under-18 goalkeeper or reserve goalkeeper or backup goalkeeper, Ricardo Brogan had to go in the back of the net, but he's like a greyed-out player that we can't actually see anymore because he's gone. We can't sign him either. They scored a goal, and to be fair, only the one goal. That's a testament to how well Brogan played in our defence play, but we couldn't find a way through. We ended up losing that game to MK Dons. We then had Burton in the Checkatrade Trophy. This is the point when Richard Olcott comes in, a new goalkeeper from Wolves. He came in for this period of time. So a 1-0 win against Burton was superb. To be fair, Burton were the much better side in that game, but we got lucky with an own goal and we won it. So I was very pleased with that. We got very lucky in that game, I've got to say. Not so lucky in the Doncaster game. It was pure skill that won us the Doncaster game. New signing, Gary Langley came in, scoring on his debut there with Carl Smith in the 90th minute. And then we took on Wigan in the Checkatrade Trophy quarter-final. This time, Robbins and Butler with the goals to make sure we win that one to go into the semi-finals against Blackburn. Speaking of Blackburn, we played them in the league. Gary Langley with a brace and Kane Hayes with a goal there picked up 3 points against Blackburn, who have been phenomenal recently. They've now overtaken us in the table. We'll talk about that more later on. But Blackburn, we seem to be their bogey side at the moment because we beat them in the cup, we beat them in the league. But other than that, their recent fixtures have been absolutely phenomenal, picking up so many points, so fair play to them. Unfortunately for them, they couldn't beat us though, so that was a superb result. We then had a very, very boring game against Rotherham, 0-0, nothing much to say there, but a clean sheet at least. And then we played Wimbledon away from home, and a 2-1 win there with Langley and Robinson getting the goals in that one. So a good bit of performance in between, with a few draws, a loss, but mostly wins. That's pretty decent. Now at this stage, Blackburn were 2 points behind us in the table. We then drew against Lincoln City, but Blackburn won, but they've scored more goals than us. So they went ahead of us in the table on goals scored because we got the same goal difference. So that was a bit frustrating. The game against Lincoln we were the better side, to be fair, but we just couldn't find that breakthrough, and we got lucky with the own goal in the end there, to be fair. We'll show it actually. Can we click on this? We may as well show the goal and things like that, see what happened. So Richard Smith had the free kick, he puts it in, and it sort of bounces around the area before it's put in, sort of in between the goalkeeper and the back line, and a Lincoln defender tries to get on the end of it, as you can see from Hunt there. He tries to get on the end of it to just get anything to try and turn it behind goal, but accidentally puts it in the back of his own net there. So that was unfortunate for Lincoln City there, because they could have had a big win against us, because we weren't scoring goals in that game. We got very lucky with that own goal. And then we played Blackburn in the Checkatrade Trophy. Mel Goff scores in the 86th minute. There was literally 3 highlights in this game. They had a free kick that went over. We had a free kick that went over. And then Melgoff scores the goal in the 86th minute. Again, we'll look at this one because it's a pretty decent goal. We do get quite lucky. There is a goalkeeper mistake in there. He literally palms. It's a free kick. Turiak free kick. The goalkeeper palms it to Melgoff and he puts it in the back of the net. I was literally going mental at this and it was absolutely crazy. And all the elation from that, getting to the Wembley final, it's all been brought down because we've lost the recording. I'm absolutely gutted by it. I'm really upset about that because it was such a good episode and I feel like you've massively missed out and it's just taken away something from the series really, which I find quite annoying. I mean, hopefully you see this because I'm not sure how to diagnose the issue. I mean, I'm clicking on this. Look, here's an insight into my folders. If we go back to this screen capture here, here's my folders and things like that. Currently, this says it's recording, but I don't know if this is just going to disappear or not, which is it's a big issue. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to stop the recording now, see if this is saved, and then I'm going to start again. But if it's stopped, then you won't see it, so it doesn't really matter. But if it has, at least I've saved something then, and we can. And if the Middlesbrough save doesn't work or that save file breaks for whatever reason, I don't have to do this bit all over again. Okay, that worked actually. It looks like that worked. Yep, it's all here. What I just did, so that's fine. I mean, Inception here. If you, woo. I mean, let's stop doing that, Tom. That's a bit embarrassing. It currently says we're recording here as well, so I really don't know what's happened with that previous. It's so frustrating because I'm going to be so paranoid now about what's happening in future episodes if it's actually recorded or not. Like, imagine if we've got the cup final now. Obviously, we beat Blackburn in the semi final, so we've got a cup final coming up tomorrow. What if that doesn't? I'm actually panicking now. What if that doesn't record? Either way, it's done now. It's dusted. Moral of the story: maybe I don't know what I can check. To be fair, maybe don't save games immediately after because I mean normally I wouldn't really be bothered because I just carry on as normal, but because it was a cup final or semi-final rather, I felt like I had to show you that, and I feel like I've cheated you a little bit by not showing you that, so I do feel bad, but we can't do anything about it now. What's done is done. We continue. As previously mentioned, we dropped down to third in the table because we drew with Lincoln City, whereas Blackburn went ahead of us on goals scored, as you can see. So we temporarily are in third at the moment. We are only 3 points behind Burton, so at the moment it's a 3-horse race for 2 automatic promotion places. So it's going to be very, very tight in the next 10 games or so. Luckily for us though, we've got Middlesbrough up next and we've not lost to Middlesbrough ever in this save file, so I'm pretty excited for it. Fingers crossed we actually go through and win it. So this is going to be the lineup for today's game then. We've got McClement in goal, which is pretty decent, with a backline of Turiak, Richard Smith, Carl Smith and Watts. Woodthorpe, Littler and Ramage make up that midfield partnership. Robbins on the left. We're going to try Langley again on the right. I mean, he was superb in between episodes. On camera, it was absolutely awful. So hopefully he's going to behave himself today and actually play well. And then we're going to start Butler up front because, I mean, actually, to be fair, if we look down here, we've got all these players on trial still, apparently. Ollie Walker was cup-tied last time, actually, so we'll put him on the bench. He was cup-tied for the Checkatrade Trophy game. We'll put him on the bench instead of Mark Mason. He's not played particularly well in any game so far, so we'll keep him on the bench. Butler's at least got 7 goals to his name this season, which, again, is absolutely woeful for a striker at this stage of the season, but we'll trust him. Let's try and get him to do something. Oh, this is the issue. We've now got 6 players in the matchday squad. Oh, we've got Kane Hayes on the bench, actually. No, okay, let's put Mason back on the bench instead of Walker. He's not scored goals either, to be fair. So wherever Mark Mason is, there he is. He can go back on the bench. And fingers crossed, we win today. Right then, kickoff is upon us. And Middlesbrough coming to our place today. They've never beaten us here. They've never beaten us at their place either, actually. So we do hold an extremely good record against Middlesbrough. So I am confident going into today's game. We need to look out for Burton and Blackburn. Looks like Burton are already winning their game, actually. They're not, for some reason. Why are they suddenly jumped up to 72 points? That's confusing. Oh, no, I was looking at Oxford. I was looking at Oxford. There's Burton right below it. Okay, Middlesbrough just scored. We'll look at that in a second. In fact, let's look at it now while the highlight goes on. We'll see the replay of that in a second. Donna, his first goal as well of the season. You hate to see that, especially at this stage of the season. You hate to see players getting their first goal for the club or first goal of the season. They come forward. To be fair, they just catch our defence out. We're all trying to track this man. We leave it open at the back here, and Wilson puts it in the back of the net. So not the best start to the game for us right now. Back on this update screen, though, Blackburn, They are playing against Oxford. That's the one we should be looking at. So these two results, Burton already winning, but Blackburn being held at Oxford, who are 16th. So hopefully that continues and we get back into today's game. I've got to say, we have been superb all season. We can't let it slip now. I really don't want to let it slip at this final stage of the season. As Ramic plays it out to Langley. Langley into Littler. Littler into Watts. Watts to put the ball across. It's clear, but only as far as Littler, who can shoot, putting it just wide of the post. As I was saying, we've been phenomenal all season. We just have to keep the momentum going for the final 10, 12 games of the season, and we will get promoted, I think. Burton have perhaps slipped up a little bit in recent weeks. Blackburn obviously haven't, apart from against us. They've been phenomenal. So my money's on Blackburn to get promoted, I think. It's then going to be between us and Burton. But as Burton are winning right now and we're losing, they go 6 points clear of us. We're making it difficult for ourselves. Very difficult for ourselves. Now, we're only going to do the Middlesbrough game in this episode, purely because I just don't have time now to do another game after the previous one failed recording. So I haven't got a time to record another one, unfortunately. I know that's a bit annoying. We've just picked up a penalty, though. Ramic is apparently the man to take it. And to be fair, he probably is, although Butler's got 15 finishing. I'm going to trust Butler with it, all right? He needs to get some confidence. He needs to score goals. He's a striker. Butler to take it. He puts it in the back of the net. He's nearly saved it, to be fair, the goalkeeper. He's 8th of the season now, Peter Butler. Again, it's such a poor record for a striker, especially when we're second in the table and he's our top goal scorer. But he just about sneaks it underneath their goalkeeper there. Keeper dived the right way. We do put it back in the net. We are back on level terms now, which is good. We have now gone up to 6-7 points. That's good. Blackburn's still ahead of us on goals scored, so they're still drawing, obviously, but we need to grab a winner. So we're going to say get creative out there, and we're going to go up to attacking, of course. We can't lose to Middlesbrough. We've never lost to them before. Again, Langley just seems to have... He's camera shy. He's not performing on camera. When the recording fails or not, he's just not performing. So he's going to come off for Kane Hayes. I think Kane Hayes will start the next few games or so. And then Mark Mason's going to come on for Butler. Despite his penalty, he's not played well at all in today's game. So Mason, I'm trusting you, lad. Please go and score a goal in the next 20 minutes or so, and you'll be a hero at the club again. Right then, ball comes in from Middlesbrough. Now, they've got the chance to come forward. They're playing it quite nicely. Middlesbrough shoots. McClement makes a save. I don't think that's good enough for the highlight. Apparently it was. I thought there'd be another highlight extended onto that where we go and score at the other end of the pitch. 10 minutes to go. I'm going to say show some passion out there. Okay. A few players looking fired up by that feedback. Mason's free kick. Oh, he's nearly put that in the back of a net, to be fair. That was a superb save from their goalkeeper. That was a phenomenal free kick as we go to very attacking. Turiak with the corner. It swung in. Hayes headed it straight at the goalkeeper there. We're trying our hardest. It looks like Blackburn were actually losing at one point. Oh, no. Please, no. Don't do this. How? Oh, that is the worst way to concede. We've now You hate to see that. Middlesbrough now 2-1 up. I mean, where was our defence there? Really, where was the defence? All Wilson had to do is put it past McClement. It was an easy job, really. The defence switched off. This is the issue we've got now. This is the issue. We're now 1 point behind Blackburn, 6 points behind Burton. And with 11 games to go this season, it's going to be very tough. It's not impossible, obviously. There's still a long way to go. There's still 33 points up for grabs. As Robbins puts his cross in, it's overshot, and then they've cleared the ball. This is our first ever defeat to Middlesbrough as well, so that's also pretty painful. And it's even more painful because we lost the previous recording where we won a game and drew a game, and you've had to watch us lose instead. So it's to be fair, it's a rubbish episode today. I'm not happy. I'm quite upset about losing that recording because it was such a good one. However, positive thoughts now, because if we look at what's coming up soon, we do have a Checkatrade Trophy Final coming up. Now, you're meant to watch this. I'm just so annoyed that you've missed that semi-final as well. I'm. Please forgive me. Please find it in your hearts to forgive me. But tomorrow, to make up for it, we're going to play the Cheltenham game and then the Aldershot game, but we're going to do it as a premiere. So it's essentially like a live video, except it's pre-recorded. But we all get together, watch it live. We've got a live chat going on. If you do miss the live part of the video, then you can watch it later on as a normal video. That's absolutely fine. That's how it works. But it's just sort of that extra interaction and excitement for a cup final. So tomorrow, 8 PM UK time, come to the channel. Set a reminder now. Come to the channel. watch the episode. I'll be in the live chat, you'll be in the live chat, we'll all be communicating, all getting hyped up for the final. Hopefully we'll beat Cheltenham first, and then we'll take on Aldershot afterwards, who we beat recently in the league, so that could be a good omen. Fingers crossed the recording actually works, because that would be a bit scary if it didn't work, so fingers crossed that all works out for us, and I will see you tomorrow for the Checkatrade Trophy Final. This could be a superb ending to the season. We could have a Checkatrade Trophy win, and we could get automatic promotion. Alternatively, we could lose the final, and we could get knocked out of the playoffs. It could go either way. This could be a great end to the season. It could be awful, but who knows? So thank you very much for watching. I do apologise once again for... I don't know how it's messed up, how we didn't get that recording, or how it corrupted or whatever, but it's... is what it is. So I do apologise for that. But if you did enjoy this episode, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco action.